This Tuesday evening, we begin with a powerful story of remembrance. In just a few short days, stories of 9/11 survivors and first responders will air all over the world. The unforgettable day happened in New York City 2 decades ago. But for some, the memories are still fresh.
Thank you, Stefan. I'm here with Michael Bilowa. He was part of the cleanup crew after 9/11. Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Let's start off. Where were you the morning of September 11th, 2001?
I was working on a construction site at the corner of East 23rd Street and First Avenue in Midtown Manhattan. It was a beautiful fall day, little crisp air, and the sky was as blue could be. There wasn't a cloud in the sky.
And how did you learn of the events that took place that day?
I was at the construction site, and somebody had called another person in the trailer and had said a plane had just struck the World Trade Center. There happened to be a bar right next to our job site, and believe it or not, it was open, and we went in. You know, I remember standing in that bar. There was the 5 or 6 regulars sitting there at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they were crying, and I was in utter disbelief seeing what I was watching on the TV, thinking what was happening a mile away in downtown Manhattan. The city was at that time in total chaos, gridlock, subways weren't running, traffic wasn't moving. The city was basically in lockdown. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to get home that day. So I did meet up with my sister-in-law, who lived a few blocks away. And come the next day, on Wednesday morning, I was called and asked if I could make my way to the West Side Highway, meet some heavy equipment operators, and escort them down to Ground Zero. Seeing the fires, seeing the debris everywhere, seeing rescue trucks, seeing ambulances, seeing the first wave of rescuers, something that, is still in my mind, in my memory. I was taking this all in, seeing the ash that was everywhere, papers that were everywhere, no one to be seen, and then seeing 2 people in contamination suits, like this was a movie. Our company was given the southwest quadrant of the Trade Center site, which is Battery Park, Albany Street, going north towards Battery Park City. There would be World Financial Center. At St. Nicholas's Church, that was no longer there. We had the Vista Hotel, the Trade Center, and that was basically our area to work. It still amazes me to see the volunteers that showed up to help. The good in people was there that day. Everyone wanted to help. This rescue recovery went on for 9 months, and on that Wednesday, the 29th, when we had the last column ceremony, there was no work taking place that day. It was just the ceremony. And I remember walking back past the site, looking at it, and hearing the water that would come out of the foundation wall, because basically the Hudson River is right there. It was so tranquil, and to hear that water percolating through the foundation wall, and to think what has happened in the past 9 months. So there's little things like that come back to me here 20 years later, and I say to myself, wow, pretty amazing. I tell people one of the toughest things in being there was meeting survivors. I think that last day with the column ceremony, I met a widow with her daughter, and she talked about how she talked with her husband that day and how she was so upset with him that he went back into the building and exit with his work coworkers. For everyone lost that day, there's a story to be told.
Can you talk a little bit about your connection to Clarkson University and what you've done over the past 20 years to keep the memories alive?
I think it was November, December of 2001. One night I came home. In the mail was the Clarkson Alumni Magazine. I remember standing in my hallway in shock when I saw 4 alumni were listed as dying on 9/11. And I knew automatically there was a connection there. And as the cleanup went on, there were requests for steel to be donated to make memorials for those lost. And there's some steel slated to go someplace, I believe, in Europe. And those plans fell through. And I knew the person that was coordinating the oversight of that distribution. And I said, could I ask on behalf of my college university for the memorial steel? And he said, by all means. So I reached out to my friend, Don Dangerman. Don and I had not spoke. I called him out of a clear blue sky, and I said, Don, this is what's going on. Would you be willing to accept the steel on behalf of Clarkson? He said, definitely yes. I made the arrangements and had Don receive the steel in Potsdam. Don called me the day that it reached there and just said the facilities people were in awe of what they received. To think where it came from and what it represented. To me, 9/11 is a day of reflection, to think about what happened that day, honor those that were lost that day, keep their memory alive. And the most important thing is that we never forget.
Michael, thanks again. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.